Zombie Apocalypse.
Hello and welcome to another D&D Tonight build and painting video. This time we're tackling a old school Chaos Rhino. Well, not super old school, it's the current one, but still, it hasn't been updated in a while. So, I start out with a ton of build work. It takes me, or at least in this video, it takes about as long to build as it does to paint it, which is a lot of build time. But I do a lot of work to take off mold lines and clean things up as best I can. And I was actually kind of surprised. There was a lot of mold lines on this model, even considering it's probably 5 years old from sitting under the bed. So I only can imagine, if they haven't replaced that tool, what the newer ones look like. You can see that I grabbed a YouTube video and just set it to play as I do all of this tedious putting together and building work. I suggest you do the same thing. Oh wait, that is exactly what you're doing. That's what I'm here for. You can see that I've grabbed out my little bag of magnets and matching drill bits in order to do some magnetizing. I just managed to fit a magnet inside the missile launcher so that I could magnetize that. I also magnetized the side hatches and the rear hatch to open and close. Now we move on to priming and zenithal highlight with a sky gray from Vallejo. After the sky gray is complete, grab yourself some Thousand Suns blue and work down that same gradient top to bottom in order to get your base coat going. After the Thousand Suns blue is done drying, grab out the Ahriman blue and work down the same gradient again. After you're done with that and that's dried, grab out Ahriman blue and white mixed 50-50 in order to put on a dry brush and pick out all those high edges. Looking at the yellow, I decided that there was no way I wanted to paint as many coats as it would take in order to do it straight to yellow. So instead, I grabbed an Averland Sunset to put down my base yellow before moving on to Soul Yellow from scale 75. And now, as we all know, I have to paint at least 35 coats of yellow before I get a good solid color down. So I'm going to take advantage of this time and read you a little bit of the lore from the Rhino. Chaos Rhinos, with their engines emitting a ceaseless mechanical scream, spearheads of Chaos Rhinos barrel across the battlefield to deliver their payload into the heart of the enemy line. Thick ablative plating shields the warriors within the twisted transport bay from incoming fire, allowing Rubricae, cultists, and snarling Zangors to be swiftly redeployed across the battlefield as the battle plans of their sorceress masters shift and change. Six and a half coats later. Alright, now we get back into some more of the fun stuff. I made a simple template using the Ouroboros symbol that I found online and a vinyl cutter in order to be able to make the Ouroboros symbol on the hatch doors for the Rhino. I really like how this came out. It's the first time I've ever tried something like this, and after about 3 coats of the yellow on the airbrush, I got it pretty good. Some more simple paintwork. I did a bolt gun metal for the tank treads, and then I followed that up with a simple wash of Agrax Earthshade, everybody's favorite. When I look before the rubric, I see myself blindly stumbling through war after war, my eye closed to the future and unaware of my own destiny. My mind was not ready, and I could not hope to understand the power which I now possess. To behold this past is like looking into a mirror that has been blackened by fire. The self I see is a dim reflection of who believes falsely that he controls his own fate. Manhat, exalted sorcerer of the Cult of Time. Moving right along to the gold accents, I used Retributor armor to get a good solid base coat, and then I followed that up with a wash of Reichland Flesh Shade. I know where I wanted to put the gold accents. I just knew that I wanted a little bit in there to spice it up with the yellow. So I picked out a couple of the smaller panels to highlight it with the gold, and I picked out all of the little tiny rivets that are on the side of the Rhino in order to kind of break up the large blue space. Footnote, inside the back door of the Rhino, I took a little bit of the bolt gun metal and I put it across that mesh that's in there, and I painted the two little dots at the top of the door red just so that they look like cool little lights that are on. And finally, everybody's favorite part, we'll have some glamour shots here at the end. If you liked this and want to see more, check out the rest of our stuff over at dndtonight.com. We'll see you there. When the thousand suns march to war, they do so wreathed in warp fire and sorcerous lightning. Their armor and heraldry is emblazoned with baleful runes dedicated to Tzeentch, alongside the symbols of their cult and thrall band.